Good evening, everybody. Bro Ed the Red coming to you once again this stormy, rainy evening in Louisville, Kentucky with American help and the news you can use. Before I get into the news, well, I'm going to get into some news. It would appear that all of the people who have been saying for quite some time that President P-Mert is the last president, we won't say of where, just the last president, they may very well have been right. Elections in November, at this point, are suddenly canceled. I don't know about you, but that seems kind of suspicious to me. Is it possible that P-Mert could actually have had something to do with not only the global spread of COVID-19, but the spread throughout the United States as well? Could he possibly have had something to do with it getting out to begin with? Good questions to ask. I'm not saying yes, not saying no. Just simply saying it all looks kind of suspicious. Kentucky universities are already closing. Louisville Mayor Fisher is warning the school system of at least a week of closure. And we now have 8 cases in Kentucky. Still, so far as we know, according to them, only 1 in Louisville who is allegedly recovering. However, if there were more sick, which there probably are, I'm sure, they wouldn't be telling us because they don't want us to panic any more than people already are, which is inevitable. It is going to happen. It's coming. The hospitals are already telling people, do not come to the hospital or clinics if you're sick. They're telling people to stay home and either call their healthcare provider or the health department for instructions. I have news for you folks. If you get sick, don't call anybody if that's what they're telling you to do, because I'm telling you, it will be a matter of minutes before somebody is either pounding on your door or knocking your door down to take you somewhere that you are likely not going to want to go and you may not come back from. I'm telling you now, don't call anybody in the city or anywhere else. I wouldn't even necessarily call family if I were you, because you don't know whether they might do it. Just stay at home, treat yourself as best as you can, and be quiet. 4 new cases in Indiana. Official total now is 10. That's the official total. NBA and NFL canceled games till further notice. All of the universities are still having games, but they're not going to allow the fans to be present, only news media. Warm and wet is what is the ideal environment for COVID-19 to thrive. And it feels kind of unfortunate that warm and wet weather is exactly what we have here for the next 10 to 14 days. Perfect environment for cases to spike. Governor Beshear calls to Kentuckians to cancel Sunday worship services across the state. Now, I've told you all that. Election suddenly canceled. I don't know about y'all, but I've been feeling for quite some time that P-Mert has not from the beginning been the nationalist that he may have very well deceived us into believing that he was. And I am convinced at this point that he is as much a globalist as any of the rest of them. And this was done deliberately so that the United States would be brought to her knees and the people of this country would become so desperate that when the UN comes in and says, "We have the answer, global government, let us come in and take care of you," people will be so desperate for food, water, adequate shelter, plumbing again, all these wonderful things, having electricity, a refrigerator, they'll go for it really quick. And anybody that doesn't, well, might be shit out of luck. Looks like that may very well be the direction that we're heading in. And nobody knows exactly how long it's going to take for it to happen. All I have to say on that part is I hope that it actually gets bad enough that people do have to develop their own communities to the best of their ability with their own laws, their own government, and just do the best that we can in an agrarian way of living. And I want to share with all of you something that I shared with Same Train. For those of you who are concerned, worried, frustrated, if you didn't get stuck on stupid and you really genuinely just did not have the means to prepare, but you wanted to and just couldn't, you're going to be okay. So people such as yourself that God knows needs him the most. He's not going to abandon you if you don't abandon him. Well, God doesn't abandon us anyway. We do abandon him. And then we suffer consequences until we decide we're going to come back. Looking for answers. You need a way out. You've been trapped in that trial full of sorrow and doubt. You saw a trickle of sunlight, but you found no escape. Just hold on to his promises, because he'll make a way. He'll make a way in the middle of nowhere. When it seems no one really cares, he's there by your side. He'll make a way when you feel Satan close in. Don't give up. Don't give in. He'll make a way right on time. And he will. For those of you who couldn't but wanted to, he'll make a way for you. Somehow, some way, you can trust that he will. And if any of you can, if it gets to the point that the utilities are not operational, if you can make your way to Lake Elmo Road in Brooks, Kentucky, you'll be welcome. Somehow, some way, we'll make it. I'll make sure of that. With God's help, we will make sure of that. Till next time, Bro Ed the Red saying, I love you. Don't be afraid, because you don't really have any reason to be. Till next time, Brother Ed, signing out.